Loud. There we go. Okay, so let's start off with sitting. Find your comfortable spot. Make space. And take a breath. Close your eyes. And just notice where you're feeling anything at all, whatever it is, and where it is. And try and allow yourself to come just down a couple of notches. Maybe that's taking slower breaths in and out. Maybe it's just focusing, finding those areas where you're holding on and letting go. And we don't need it to happen instantly. That's what we're going to be doing through our practice. We're just taking the temperature of where we are, what we've been up to, what's been happening in our day. And today is Deepavali, or Diwali. Deepa is light, little lamp, and Avali is a corridor or a lane or an alley. So it's a line of lights to light us into better self-awareness and self-knowledge. So in yoga terms, Deepavali is the new moon. It's a wonderful time for taking stock and an opportunity to cast away some of the stuff that we don't want, any darkness, and to really shine a light and try and keep that inner light that we have steady, not dim. Keep it from fluctuating too much, just keeping that nice, steady, bright light. And let's make those breaths in much bigger, as if you're breathing in light and you want to shine it all around your body. So breathing in, really exaggerating the movement, lifting your ribcage, lifting your shoulders, and then again, as you move with that out breath, exaggerating that movement too, and maybe even collapsing a little, bending forward. So big, huge in-breath. Taking up space. Move your arms if you want to, move whatever you want. And then as you breathe out, making yourself as small as possible. One more. Well done. Just check that you are on mute. And we are going to start off this cold and very wintry day in Balasana. So we're going to start off small and cozy and curled in. So bring yourself to sitting on your heels. If that is not comfortable, find a comfortable way of doing that. Maybe it's taking your feet out to the sides and coming down to sit between your feet. If that doesn't feel comfortable either, then you can bring your feet around into Paschimottanasana. What we're going to find here is that little curve in the back, that nice, easy rounding, stretching out across the base of your lower back, around the kidneys, moving up, making space. So as if you're trying to take your ribs away, stretching them away from your spine. So if you're in Balasana, it's the same. If you're in Paschimottanasana, it's the same. So it's fine. If you're in Balasana, obviously you've got that nice contact between your chest and your thighs, and you may have that in Paschimottanasana too. It's just a little harder because those hamstrings usually tend to hamstring us. So bringing yourself into whatever version works for you for today, for now. And of course, trying to set aside any little thoughts, big thoughts, happy thoughts, not so happy thoughts. Just observing and letting them go on their way. And you'll find your own best mechanism for doing that. Maybe it's saying hello to them, greeting them, and then letting them go. Maybe it's just gently putting up the do not disturb sign. I see you, but I'm not going to engage with you. Whatever it is that works for you. And if you're using a particular technique and it's not working, feel free to try another one. Sometimes different things appeal and our brains get bored of the same thing. So keep brain active and interested by changing the way you are allowing yourself to be in this space right now. So with all this talking, in the meantime, hopefully the muscles in your lower back have relaxed, have softened. They've given you a little bit of space there. And hanging your head gently forward or allowing your head to come to your mat. Lengthening through the back of the neck. Just bringing your focus to your third eye. Maybe your third eye, that area just above and between your eyebrows, is in contact with the floor. Maybe it's not. Just take your attention there. Just soften that area. And imagine that it is bright, white light shining out, shining in. Pure and bright. Clear. And then gently bringing yourself up to sitting or back to sitting and come straight to cat-cow. There's hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's come into that nice, easy tabletop and start to move. Stretching out the front of the body, curling around, stretching out the back of your body as well. And think again about the stretch that you just did in your Balasana or your Paschimottanasana. And as you move, start incorporating the breath with each movement. So breathing out, angry cat, in, peaceful, gentle, wise cow, fiery cat, and then breathing in, slow, gentle, thoughtful, wise. So as you move into your cat, be a bit fiery, be a bit feisty, be a bit fierce, blowing that breath out, short, sharp. And then that moon energy, slow, or moo energy in this case, coming into cow, softening the belly, allowing it to hang, and then pulling it in tight, squeezing it up. Tight muscles, pushing your fingertips into the mat, almost making your hands into a claw as you come into your cat, and then softening, pressing the knuckles down. Go at your own pace. 2 more. Really find that movement. Stretch, 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 stretch. As you come into your cow, feel as if you're widening your sit bones, taking them away from each other. And your cat, you're tucking your chin in tight. Well done. Very nice. Good. Strong movements and gentle movements. Such a nice change between the two. And let's come from here into a plank. So arms nice and strong and straight. Pop your feet down to the mat to keep yourself in a nice strong plank. If that doesn't work today, knees to the mat and maybe take your heels off and squeeze all across the front of your torso. Try and keep your bum down, so not what I was doing. And feel that tension around your torso, around your belly, sucking your belly button in towards your spine, gently pushing your pelvis forward. Holding, holding, well done. And then come into a low arm plank. So we're going to take the forearms down, make 2 fists and bring them together in front of you. So you'll be very close to the floor here, but not quite on the floor. If you are in plank, well done, very strong. And then drop your knees and your belly to the mat. Stay upright in the front half of your body. So your hips are on the floor, your elbows are on the floor, your forearms are on the floor, nice strong arms. Allow your toes to just be relaxed, tops of the feet flat to the floor. Drawing your elbows in towards your body, into our very wise, inscrutable Sphinx. Think about pressing your belly button down into the mat. Think about widening your shoulders. Think about sending your chin gently forward, so we're opening up in the neck and throat. Can you bring your shoulder blades down your back gently? Or pulling the elbows in towards your waist. And then bringing your arms in front of you into Crocodile Makara. Resting your forehead on your forearms for a breath. Carrying on, moving from an animal to an insect. So we're going to go and find a locust now. So arms out in front, legs obviously are out behind you. Push your sit bones down, so your hip bones are pressing into the mat. And then let's lift. So lifting the arms and drawing the shoulders back. Lifting the feet and taking the toes towards each other. So your feet will come away from each other, that's fine. We don't need to have the feet touching, but I do want you to try and feel that you are squeezing your thighs together. So your feet are, it's as if you're trying to draw them to touch your toes together, but not necessarily trying so hard that it actually happens. So lifting up, looking forward, squeeze your glutes. Can you lift your legs a little higher? If you squeeze your bum, all those muscles there in the tops of the legs. Squeeze, 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 and down. This time, keep your arms out in front and let your forehead come to the mat. So we're just going to curl the head around. Okay, we're coming back into Shalabhasana again. If you need to, press down into your hands, lift your chest off, and then bring your chest back down. You might have a little more lift. It might be easier for you to bring top half of your torso off the mat. Lift your arms, lift your legs, come into Shalabhasana. So your breathing here is probably fairly shallow. That's fine. Breathe in through your nostrils and out through your mouth. Sending the fingertips forward, sending the toes back behind you. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. That's 1. 2. Can you squeeze your glutes any higher? Harder. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And relax. Come down. Can you remember which arm was on top last time? This time, Makara. Resting the back of the neck. Enjoying your arm pillow. So that was a good warm up for a posture that we are going to try in a little while. So bringing your hands either side of your chest now. Let's push up gently into Bhujangasana. Come as far as is comfortable for you. If you want to go all the way up as far as you can, go ahead. If you're more comfortable coming into a baby cobra, do that. Press your hips into the mat. Squeezing them forward, sending your heart center forward, bringing your shoulders back. Your gaze is directly in front. Soft, unfocused gaze. Your drishti point, your gaze point. Remember to breathe, nice, slow, deep breaths. Well done. Relax those shoulders. I know they're working. Try and get the arms to do the work and relax your shoulders at the same time. Not easy, I know. And we're going to push back now into Balasana again. So sending your hips back, all the way back, walking your hands back. If this worked for you just now, go ahead, back into Balasana. It looks like it's working, that's great. Coming up to sitting, slowly, gently. We are going to come from here into standing. So let's take ourselves into a squat. Hopefully that works for you today. We're coming into squat. Use your hands if you need to. Take them off if you want to try and balance a little and challenge. Just make sure that you've got soft things around in case you do go for a bit of a roll. Hopefully your mat is nice and padded, so if you do, you're safe and sound. We're going to come up to chair, which is always fun, going up to chair rather than coming down to chair. It's harder, but that's good. So bringing your feet a little closer together, take your arms up. So nice long line from your fingertips to your hips. And then we're going to stand halfway. So you might need to tip forward a little, nice and slow. And stop. Stop when you come to your chair. Well done. Use what you need to use. Brilliant. And you can always, if it's tricky to get into it this way, just stand up and then sit back down again. Crikey. I went to a Pilates class yesterday. A lot of thigh work we did. We're sitting back. Watch that lower back. We don't want to have a little ski jump there. We want a nice flat lower back. So you're holding on with those sit bones, squeezing your glutes, sit bones facing the floor, and then come all the way up. Well done. I thought I would never warm up today, and I have now. So thank you very much, yoga. I'm going to stand sideways because I want you to take a nice step forward. Now, right foot forward, left foot behind. If you need to, adjust which angle you have your back foot. Take the pressure off if there is pressure on there. And let's turn the hips towards the front foot forward, and come into a bit of a bend. So bending on that front leg, adjusting the back leg, and it might be that you come up onto toes if you're feeling pressure in that heel. Sending chest forward, hands to hips, just to keep that alignment. And then let's take the hands together all the way up and look up. So a little bit of a back bend. Imagine that you're looking for that new moon, that new light. Sink a little lower if you can. And then let's come all the way up. Bring the arms down, turn to the side. Now, opportunity here for a bit of a stretch in the hips. Prasarita Padottanasana. Send yourself forward. Sit bones moving up. Head moving down. Hopefully, whatever is going on with legs and heels and ankles, this inversion is still possible and comfortable. And let's give it an opportunity for a little bit of improved blood flow to the head, face, neck, brain. Check to see you're not holding on around the neck, and you're allowing everything to soften. Knees are very, very slightly bent. Rolling forward a little further. Do you have a little more give there? Now maybe taking your hands to your feet, to your ankles. Give them a bit of a rub. Hello toes, hello ankles. And then let's sway from side to side. So use your arms, straighten one, bend the other. Bringing yourself first over to one foot and then onto the other. Don't worry, don't expect your head to touch your foot. Although go ahead if you feel like that's what you'd like to do, without by bending your legs. And let's move from side to side here, noticing what's happening in your hips and in the backs of your knees. And also noticing that we're now in this inversion for a little time. That's good. Continuing to breathe nice and deep and slow. And then coming to the middle again and rounding to come up. This time sending the left foot to point forward, allowing the right foot to do what it needs to do to find its comfort and its strength. Hands on hips, turning them towards your left toes. And then we're going to sink down. Again, do what you need to do with the feet to be comfortable, to be able to move, and then taking the arms up. Arms up, opening up under the arms. So as if you are trying to take your elbows just behind your ears, taking your fingertips to point behind you, sending chest up opening up the chest. Lovely. And then if you can, if you want to, sinking a little deeper, opening up in the groin, all the way in that right thigh, keeping the left thigh strong and dynamic. One more breath here. And coming back up, standing, face forward, and let's walk the feet towards each other. So nice, slow, bringing the feet together. Going to come from here into Natarajasana. This is a great asana for Diwali, for Deepavali. It's all about celebration of Rama and Sita coming back from 14 years being in exile. So we're going to put our weight into our left foot, lift the right leg, find the right foot with your right hand. So just gently cradling around the ankle. Yep, find something to grab hold of. Well done. And then we're going to take the left arm up, so straight up overhead. Think about bringing that knee in line with the other knee. The right one, I guess, because that's the one that's moving right now. Left knee's probably pretty much where it is. And then we're going to reach forward with this left hand and at the same time tilt. So we're coming into dancer pose, Natarajasana. And you don't need to put a lot of pressure onto the ankle that you're holding onto, and you don't need to tilt all the way. You can just come a little way, lift that back foot up, lift the knee up, reaching forward with your left arm, left hand. So we've already opened up in our lunge just now, in our Virabhadrasana, and then coming back to center. Very wobbly today. I think I've got mat on carpet. That's what I'm blaming anyway. So let's go on to the other side if you can, if it works. An adaptation for here, if your ankles or feet are not feeling very comfortable, is to still come into that one-legged pose and send the foot back, but maybe don't bring in the arm, just to not be wobbling around quite so much on the ankle. If it works, try it. The other thing you can do is find a surface to hold on to, and then you'll wobble less, hopefully. And lift, sending that foot up. You'll also be opening up the shoulder, a little bit of a bend in that standing leg, please. Watch the hips, they don't go completely out of line. Focus on something or other that isn't moving. And breathe, one more breath here. And then gently back up. Quite an intense posture. Bit of a shake maybe. Shake out the legs. Shake out your legs. And let's come from here into downward facing dog. So slide down your legs with your hands. Walk away. And you can come up onto tiptoes. That tends to keep that same alignment. And legs and feet. And if it is working for you, then taking your heels down towards the mat. Sending your sit bones up to the ceiling. Go on, really stick them up on the ceiling. Lengthen all the way from your wrists, from your fingertips. Take your shoulders wide. breathe. Hold here for 5, 4, 3. Remember to breathe, it really helps. 2 and 1. Well done. Come into Balasana. Bring yourself all the way back down to the ground. Keep those arms stretched out in front of you. Let's keep that tension there. Keep that opening up under the arms. Very important for us to have good circulation, good blood flow, good lymph flow. Lots of important gland network in each armpit. So let's just press down into the hands. So press your hands into the mat and feel as if you're slightly drawing your heels away and your hips away from your wrists, but keep your wrists stuck to the mat. So you're pulling gently on your arms, and that should feel quite strong in the tops of your shoulders, but also hopefully feel a nice stretching under the arms. And we're going to move that area a little bit more now. Come up to sitting. Now, if you're okay on heels, sit on heels. Otherwise, come into Sukhasana, easy cross-legged pose, because we're going to be doing some stuff with the arms now. So it doesn't really matter too much what's going on with your legs. Just want to get some space here in the sides of the body, in the front and the back. So lift up tall, and let's send the right arm up, all the way up, open. Think about trying to make as much space between your fingertips and the floor as you possibly can. Somebody came in here with a ruler and said, right, how many centimeters is that? You want to just get a couple more millimeters. Stretch, 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 stretch. And then bend at the elbow. Keep that length if you can. Bend at the elbow, bring your hand behind your head. And I know you can guess what's coming next. As you take the left arm out and around. Don't worry if you've got left and right going the other way. It does not matter. You know we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So fingertips touching, or fingertips moving towards each other, or fingertips clasping, or maybe you can hold hands. Couldn't even say that properly. Maybe if you can hold hands with yourself behind your head. So see where you are and practice that loving, kind voice that just observes and doesn't criticize and doesn't compare what you can do now with what you could do when you were 10 years old. And sit up nice and tall. And you know that if you really wanted to do any of these asanas in a deeper way, not better, just deeper, all it would take would be for you to just practice them on a regular basis. So if you really wanted to do it, you can do it. Life is busy, we have a lot going on. So we do this to get everything flowing, to get our energy much better, to stay in equilibrium, to be balanced, to bring joy all around our bodies and to our minds. It doesn't matter if we can't get into postures in quite the same extremes as we used to be able to. And I'm as much talking to myself there as anybody else. So try not to let that top arm force your head forward. So have a little bit of a battle there with strong neck, pushing up and back against your arm. How's your shoulder feeling? Is it feeling like it's a little bit tired now? Maybe it's time to switch. So let's let go. Slowly bring that arm out of the position, all the way down. And let's take the arm up. So inhaling up. And the same thing, you want that length as long as you can, a couple of extra millimeters. Breathe in, get some more space. Think about that space all the way down your arm, but especially here in the ribs and the side of your body. Your spleen is tucked in there, very active at the moment, I should think, with all these lovely winter bugs flying around. So let's give it a little bit of an extra stretch. What's going to happen when we do that? Increased blood flow, more nutrients, more oxygen. All good stuff. So bend that arm now behind you. And let's take the right arm out. Stretch forward all the way. Bring it behind you. And then time for a little observation. Which side is easier? Which side is harder? It could be for any number of reasons. And sometimes it doesn't even matter what the reason is. It's just learning to tune in, learning to see yourself, learning to understand your own body. I think we have so many years where we're so busy, we just function and we use our body as a vehicle to get us to do whatever it is that we want to do. And at some point, I think we have to check in and start learning to observe a little better. Try and breathe deeply here if you can. And in this asana, we're trying to find the space where we can feel relaxed, even though we are stretching and working and moving, trying to distract the mind away from little niggles and little areas of discomfort. Of course, if there's an area that you know you have to take extra care of, then you need to do that. And you need to listen if it's not just a little discomfort, but it's actual pain. There are no prizes, unfortunately. Well, there are, but they're not ones that you traditionally expect to be a prize. And we are going to uncurl now. So let go very gently, reaching up and back. Inhale up. Exhale, fold forward. Notice how you feel in your lower back now. Notice how that feels, not having much space to breathe deeply in and expand the chest. And coming all the way up. Take the legs out to the sides. So left leg out to the left, right leg out to the right. And bring as much space as you can between your feet. So taking the legs out to the sides. You might need to press down into your hands, come off the floor a little, and then put your sit bones back down again, just to get that reconnection and find the best connection that you possibly can get. And then let's send the belly button forward, lengthening through the back and the front and the sides. Hands just resting on your legs, maybe on your knees, on your thighs. We're going to slide the left hand down the left leg and come up with the, nope, right hand down the right leg and left arm comes up. And again, not that it really matters. So let's go over to the side, opening up. So we're doing some more opening here. Try and stay in line. It's very tempting to curl over and then we feel like we've moved a long way and we're super flexible. Do it in a difficult way and we'll get more out of it. So really keeping that left shoulder up, keeping the chest facing forward. And if you feel like it, you can bring the right arm to the floor in front of your leg. If that's not comfortable, then bring it to rest on your leg. And now we can take the left arm a little bit further over. Watch out for the flying left sit bone. Keep it stuck down to the mat. And in fact, try and press it into the mat and you'll notice that there's even more of a sense of stretching out between your intercostal spaces. And then let's come back all the way, nice and strong. Do you feel longer on one side of your body than the other now? I do. So let's even that up. Left hand moving down the left leg for real this time. not just me getting my lefts and rights mixed up. Right arm coming up, and the same thing. Making sure that sit bone isn't flying. Making sure that you're staying open and not curling around. If it works for you, for your body, bringing the left arm to the mat, giving yourself a little more space. Maybe that right arm comes a little further over. Breathe as deeply as is okay in this position. It might not be very deep. And then let's reach forward and up and out and come out nice and strong. Hopefully you're feeling evened up now. So we're going to try and increase that stretch here along the inside edge of the thighs, moving the hands to the mat, walking them gently forwards. And just noticing what works for you. Maybe you've got your hands on the mat. Maybe you've got your forearms and your elbows down. Maybe you're stretching forward and you've got your head coming down to the mat. Close your eyes and think about taking your breath to where you are feeling the stretch. To your knees, to your thighs. Maybe even in your lower back, mid back, as you're folding forward. And then gently coming back up to sitting, bringing your feet together in Baddha Konasana. Now, if you haven't had a chance to look at and spend a little time with and admire and appreciate your feet, here is your chance today. Just give them a little bit of a stretch, give them a little bit of a squeeze. Squeeze your toes with your fingers as hard as you can and really press into those spaces underneath your toes. Give each toe a good squeeze. We're coming into winter, we're coming into cold, dark here in England. We want to keep everything going, everything functioning, and our toes are going to spend a lot of time sitting in socks, maybe barefoot, but still probably in socks, and maybe, worst case scenario, stuck in shoes all day long. So free the feet, bending your toes back. If you're someone that needs to moisturize regularly, playing with your moisturizer on your feet is a very good idea. Think of it as a little bit of preventative medicine, coughs and colds. So your toes and the pads of your feet, your lungs, ears, eyes, nose, throat, head. They're a really good idea to give them a little bit of a stretch and a workout. And actually the whole of your foot is equally important, but with all of these wintry, fluey bugs going around, it's quite good to give the toes a bit of a squeeze. So at the same time, we've been sitting in Baddha Konasana, so hopefully you've been moving your knees out to the sides, drawing your heels into your body, making the most of this stretch as well. And it's slightly different, isn't it, from the last one, even though we are still working what you would think would be exactly the same set of muscles. So lots of muscles in there, big psoas group. Well done. Let's come to lying on our mats now. So I'm going to turn sideways so I have some more space. Take your feet down to the mat And then let's roll down, or however works for you, come down to lying on your mat. Now we're going to start winding down our practice for today. So if you need to be a little warmer for your Shavasana, maybe now is a less disruptive time to do that. And then coming down to your mat, bring your knees in. Give yourself a lovely hug. Think about that light in your third eye shining forward. Think about how you opening and stretching and making space allows you to shine a little brighter. So stretching, turning this hug and this little gentle sideways rock into a side stretch. So taking the arms out to the sides, rolling the knees over to the left or the right, and the head in the direction. So as if you are trying to get your nose as far away from your knees as possible. And then think about your spine. Picture it in your mind's eye. All those beautiful bones, those lovely discs, all that fluid, bathing it, transporting everything that it needs there and taking away any rubbish that it doesn't need away. Those lovely muscles either side, strong. And hopefully flexible too. And then coming back to center with your head and your knees. One, then the other. Let's always move the knees first. And when they're sorted, then move the head. Relax your shoulders. Let the floor support you. Focus on breathing slowly and deeply. Bring your head back to center now. Bring your knees back to center. And let's take another hug, but this time forehead to knees. So squeezing your back into the mat, bringing your knees towards your nose, bringing your forehead towards your knees. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Can you squeeze a little tighter? Can you become even smaller? And release. Take your feet to the mat and let's come straight into bridge. So sending your hips up, squeezing your glutes. Making sure that you are pushing firmly down into the soles of your feet. And again, think about your toes, spread them out, press down into your toes. You can almost grip the mat with your toes. Pressing into the heels as well and into the sides of your feet. Sending your hips up as high as you can. Bringing your chest up to meet your chin. Squeezing your chin into your chest so you're long in the back of the neck. Breathe, squeeze. Now try and bring your knees towards each other. Squeezing down the outer edge of your thighs here. If you're trying to grab a balloon between your knees and squeeze all the air out of it. Squeeze, 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 squeeze a little harder. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Slowly coming down. One vertebra at a time. The last thing to come down will be your hips. And release. Lovely. Take your right leg up. Hold on to your leg. Now, Using both hands, just gently squeezing in the back of the calf, very gently. In reflexology, this area is associated with your digestive system, your intestines. So giving them a little bit of a squeeze and a massage if they will let you. And noticing at what point it feels comfortable and what point it stops feeling comfortable. And then gently drawing that knee in towards your chest. And then bend your leg. Hold on to that shin, pulling into your chest. So your thigh meets your chest, and then the left leg comes up, sending your heel up towards the sky. And then let's start that slow, gentle movement down towards the ground. Straight leg. You can push that kneecap down. Keeping the leg engaged all the way down. So your leg feels like solid and strong and heavy. They need to be all those things. They carry us around all day long. Super, super mode of transport. It's free. And quite often we forget how amazing it is to be able to walk. So sending that heel away, coming down to have a little hover, but don't touch if you can help it. Sometimes it's hard to judge. And then coming back up. So this is where you might want to hang on a little tighter to your calf on the right side. Gives you a little bit of stability. Pressing your shoulder blades into the mat, keeping your shoulders broad and wide. Slowly bringing that leg back up. And we're almost done with our practice today. Well done. Well done for bringing yourself to your mat, for doing whatever it needed to get here. And then let's swap legs. So we're letting the right leg go. And we're holding on to the left leg. So do whatever you want with your right leg. The moment is here for the left to have a little squeeze in the back of the calf. Everything hinges on our digestion. So let's give that a little bit of squeeze. And then pulling in. Oh, we didn't pull in, did we? So let's bring that left leg in towards the chest. Straight leg. And then bend. So holding on to the shin again. Toes towards face. Heel up. Slow descent down. Nice. Relaxed, but keeping that leg strong. Letting go of any tension in your shoulders or your jaw, if any has crept in. Slow, steady, lovely. Well done. Very nice. Almost there. And when you're ready, start that progress back up. Slow progress. Not forgetting the breath. Starting to breathe a little slower, a little deeper. Bring the right leg all the way up. Slowly, slowly. And bringing both knees into the chest. So give them a squeeze, give them a little rock from side to side. And then let's take the feet down to the mat. Move how you need to. Stretching the legs out now. Coming into your Shavasana. So find what is comfortable for you. Lift off what you need to lift off and then lay it back down again. whether that's your legs or your arms or your hips or your shoulders. Have a wiggle and a squiggle and roll around a bit. Stretch, get all of the knots and kinks and stuck bits out. Make space and take up your space. Take up your space that you are, well, it is a gift for you. It's there, you have it. You have that space right now. Take it. Relax your face, close your eyes. Focus on the out breath, making it slower, making it deeper, making it completely full. No little bit of breath left behind. Complete emptying of the breath. And with this next breath in, take your breath right down into your toes and relax your toes, relax your feet, relax your ankles. And each time you breathe out, find something to let go of. It can be something that you know you have in your house that you no longer need, you haven't used, you don't want. Feel free to, in your mind, just let it go. Even though it's physically still there, if you can detach now, it's easier to physically detach and let go later. And the more you make space, the more things are able to come to you. So with your next breath in, take your breath to your shins, your calves, your knees. Allow them to completely rest and relax, soften, feel supported, feel loved, feel appreciated. And with every breath out, find some feeling that you don't enjoy, some response, some past memory that you don't like, and let it go. That might mean deciding to look on it in a different way. It might mean deciding that you don't need to revisit that. Again, you're done with it. With every breath in, you're just moving slowly up the body. So this next breath, take your attention to your thighs, to your pelvis, to that whole area, across your lower back, across your belly, around under your undercarriage. So think about your pelvic floor, think about resting, relaxing, softening, allowing yourself to be completely at rest. This is a time for opening up and rejuvenating every single part of you. And as you feel a bit lighter with every breath that comes in, and as you feel that you get a little weight, a little heaviness, a little darkness with every breath that you breathe out, taking your attention up to your chest and allowing that whole area of your torso, the back and the front, to rest and relax, taking your breath into your throat, into your communication chakra, and allowing that space to relax and rest, taking your breath into your fingertips and the palms of your hands, allowing all those muscles to soften and rest. With your out breath, emptying completely, seeing what comes in to your mind that you can let go of. Taking your breath to your wrists, your forearms, your elbows. Taking the next breath to your upper arms, under your arms, all that space we've made. Your shoulders, top of your chest. Softening, relaxing, allowing complete rest. Breathing into your neck and throat, into the back of your head, all around the back of your scalp, around your ears. Allowing yourself to melt into your mat, to soften all the muscles at ease, beautifully at ease, completely relaxed. And this last breath, take it around your face, your mouth, your nose, cheeks, your eyes, your forehead, chin and jaw, softening, relaxing. And with this next breath, just gently scan around your body. Notice if any muscles that are used to being on high alert have gone back into their default mode, and give them permission to relax, to rest, to soften, to feel supported, to feel cradled by the earth. And taking a deep, slow, steady breath in, lengthening that breath as you breathe out, slowing everything down. And again. Feeling light, clarity flowing in with each in-breath. And feeling that energy that you give out to the world going out as you breathe out. You have an endless supply. Last deep, slow breath in and out. And keeping that space, keeping that light, that steady, bright, warm light. Gently bringing yourself to lie on your right side, eyes closed. Starting to notice sounds around you. Starting to observe. Starting to notice your surroundings again. And with every breath out, sending out that loving energy all around you. So you fill up that space that you inhabit. With good, warm, kind, generous, beautiful energy. And sitting up tall, crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Up towards the sky. Bringing your hands to heart center. Dropping your head, bringing your chin to your chest, gently, slowly opening your eyes, keeping a soft gaze at the top of your fingertips. Breathing in and out. Now just gently lifting your gaze, starting to look around you, noticing your surroundings, noticing your fellow yogis, and thank you so much for joining me, for joining everybody in the world who's doing yoga at this precise moment. I'm sure there are a lot of us, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, and I shall see you next week. Happy Diwali, and let your light shine out. Share it with the world.